What happens when teachers and parents stop pointing fingers at each other, start working as a team? Every morning, millions of teachers unlock their classroom doors, carrying lesson plans, hopes, and the desire to make a difference in a child's life. At the very same time, millions of parents are juggling work, family life, financial pressure, the overwhelming task of raising children in an increasingly complex world. But by 8 o'clock, both groups have placed their greatest responsibility into the same room, a child. And yet, instead of working together, we sometimes find ourselves standing on opposite sides. Teachers wonder, why aren't parents reinforcing expectations at home? Parents wonder, why doesn't the school understand my child? Meanwhile, the child is caught somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's time we stopped asking who is responsible. Start asking the right question. How can we work together as teachers and parents having common goals? You see, children succeed best when the important adults in their lives send the same message. We care about you. We believe in you. We are working together to help you grow. Today's conversation isn't about assigning blame to anyone. It's about rebuilding one of the most powerful partnerships in education. The partnership between home and school, the teacher and the parent. Children today face challenges previous generations could scarcely imagine. They face constant digital stimulation. They face social media comparison, mental health concerns, academic pressure, family stress, information overload. Many students arrive at school emotionally exhausted even before the first lesson begins. That doesn't excuse disrespectful behavior, but it reminds us that behavior often reflects the world students are navigating in. Both parents and teachers are responding to a generation growing up in unprecedented circumstances. So it is important to recognize that reality to allow us to respond with wisdom rather than frustration. At a recent coaching session, a teacher said, "I only see my students for 7 hours a day." The child's parents replied, "I only see my child for a few hours after work." We see that neither has enough time alone to shape a child's future, but together they did and could make a great impact. So the question isn't who spends the most time with the child. The question is, how can we or how can every hour work towards the same goal? Children quickly notice when adults disagree, even at home. If home says one thing and school says another, students receive mixed messages. Intentional collaboration, however, creates consistency. Whether it is respect, responsibility, perseverance, kindness, or accountability, children benefit when expectations are reinforced, both at home and at school, across environments. A united message doesn't require parents and teachers to agree on everything. It requires them to agree on what matters the most for the well-being of the students. So children may test boundaries. That is part of growing up, right? What they truly seek is consistency. Because consistency builds security. Security builds confidence. When students are confident, confidence supports learning. So, the following are 5 ways parents and teachers can partner to effectively support their students. First, 1. Begin every conversation assuming good intent. Teachers and parents both want children to succeed. So, approach every conversation with curiosity instead of defensiveness. 2. Celebrate positive moments. Communication shouldn't only happen when there are problems at school. Teachers, share successes, celebrate effort, recognize students' growth. Share positive communication because positive communication builds trust long before difficult communications become necessary. 3. Focus on solutions rather than asking, whose fault is this? Ask, what can we do together? Number 4, maintain consistent expectations. Children benefit when both home and school reinforce values like responsibility, honesty, kindness, and even perseverance. 5. Remember, the child is listening. Whether in the parent-teacher conferences, in the emails or conversations, children notice how adults speak about one another. Mutual respect models the very behavior we hope students will learn. So, my dear teachers and parents, imagine a struggling student. One teacher calls home, not to complain, but to ask, how can we support your child? Together. The parent responds, thank you for believing in them. Over the next several, maybe weeks, the teacher and the parent communicate regularly. The student begins to complete the assignment. Behavior in the classroom improves. Confidence grows. What changed? Not the curriculum, right? Not the classroom, not the home. What changed is the partnership. So this week's challenge is whether you're a parent or a teacher, I invite you to choose one intentional action this week. For teachers, I invite you to reach out to one family simply to share something positive about their child. To parents, I invite you to send one message thanking your child's teacher for something they do well. It may be small gesture. Small gestures build strong partnerships. Strong partnerships build stronger students. And that's what we want. Education has never been the work of the one person. It has always required a community. Teachers bring their expertise to the classroom. Parents bring their history. Their students bring their potentials. When these 3 come together with one mutual respect and shared purpose, extraordinary things are achieved. Perhaps the question isn't whether schools can resolve every challenge or whether parents can carry every burden. Perhaps the big question is whether we are willing to stand beside one another to achieve this. Because every child deserves more than excellent teachers. They deserve adults who believe that partnership is one of the greatest lessons we can teach. So, my dear teachers and parents, if today's reflection encouraged you, please subscribe to this channel, Life School, The Intentional Teacher. Every week, we explore practical strategies, inspiring conversations about building classrooms where students thrive not only academically but emotionally and socially. If you're a teacher or a parent, would love to hear from you. Please share what is one thing schools and families can do to strengthen their partnerships. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Your ideas might encourage another family or educator around the world. To close this reflection, you are reminded that every child deserves more than instruction. They deserve connection. They deserve consistency. They deserve a community that believes in them, especially believes in their potentials. Because education is strongest when home and schools move in the same direction. Teach with intention, partner with purpose, inspire for life. Thanks for listening.